Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Yeah, man.
We're moving towards 4th of July.
We are.
And if you want to get your fireworks, Pyro Spot fireworks, all locations are open.
Yeah. And they've been open, and you probably should have already been there. Because
Yeah.
a lot of that good stuff is gone, but he has plenty of good stuff. So the earlier you get there, the better stuff you get. That's just the way it works. I got shot down on the. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I got shot down on the Gatlin gun.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No place to fire it. No business buying it.
Yeah.
I begged for it over the weekend. Grown ass man, damn near 50, begging my wife to buy me a toy. Buy me a toy, mommy, please.
Okay.
That thing is so freaking cool, dude.
Okay. Speaking of fireworks, so this year
You got all yours, right?
got them all at Pyro
great.
Spot.
You're ahead of the game. Normally, you wait to the last minute. What got under your? You got a stick in your craw?
Well,
why'd you jump on it early?
Well, because
aren't you normally bothering Ross the last day?
Yes.
And he's
He made fun of that too when I saw him because last week the Pyro Spot tent, you could roam around there stress free.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going down to Miami this weekend for 4th of July.
Nice.
And so originally I thought that we were going to set off fireworks at my buddy Joe, Porno Joe.
Yeah.
His backyard, because he's in Miami. There's bigger yards.
Yeah.
Just because it's an older city, so it was back with everybody had like half acres or whatever.
Nice.
Certain
That's
neighborhoods or
nice.
whatever.
Yeah.
But it's old, like in your old 1950s house.
Yeah.
But
I mean that's kind of how DeLand was too.
Yeah.
Like my house,
bigger yards.
it was a small house, but we had a big ass yard.
Yeah.
With a swing set and a sandbox.
And so he's got a big yard, like a half acre, and I was like, oh, it's perfect to set the fireworks in the back of his yard because his neighbor also has a half acre, so it's far away from the houses.
Sure.
You know,
they probably both enjoy it.
And but he's going to Stiltsville because recently, you ever heard of Stiltsville?
Mm-hmm.
So Stiltsville is these group of houses that are in Biscayne Bay down in Miami that are on stilts.
Oh, yeah, I've seen these, yeah.
And so there used to be a lot more, but hurricanes throughout the years have demolished them.
Sure, yeah.
But it's also, they're in a national park. So it's illegal to build any new ones. And for years, as hurricanes destroyed these, and you're also, if a hurricane destroys everything, you're not allowed to rebuild it. So because the national park and stuff don't really want the houses there anymore.
Yeah, just leave it the way it is.
But they've been passed down for generations, and there's multiple. The houses still remain. They're like owned by big groups.
Okay.
One of them is the firefighters association down in Miami.
He got in. Oh, that's cool.
Which by the way,
I've seen these before, but normally it's when one of them has fallen down. But it's very rare, right?
Which by the way, and this has been something that Joe's wife has, because Joe's wife's dad is a firefighter, like a fire chief down there.
Okay.
And he's been involved, they've always grown up going to Stiltsville, kind of like we go to Brooksville.
Yeah. You guys in your vills.
So she's been wanting to be, it's like a honor to get a key and have your name as a partner, so you can go visit her.
Yeah, I get it.
No girls allowed.
Oh, no girls allowed.
So Joe had to do it, and I don't know if there's some sort of weird ceremony.
Yeah, you gotta put them all together in a circle.
But she was mad as hell.
No pictures. Take your pants off.
And I don't
Get
even
in the circle.
I don't even know if that's I don't know if they wanted the public or that.
Yeah. Did he lie?
Women are allowed.
Was he just lying about that, or is that?
No. He's a firefighter, and I think you have to maybe be a firefighter, and that's why.
So they let girl firefighters.
I don't know. She says no girls allowed, and I laughed at that because I'm like, really? I'm like, but anyway.
Is that still that's a thing?
Back to the fireworks.
I do have a lot of friends that take quote bro trips. They're like, just us bros.
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to either. I like having the option to kiss my wife. I like having.
I also like seeing women.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, you and I've talked about this.
I
like seeing it. I think
that
women.
makes me straighter.
I like women. I like naked women.
All bros. I know it's a very manly thing. I think me like being liking
people
being around women.
People would be like bros before hoes, and I'd be like, well, how good looking are the hoes? Because I won't agree with that.
Yeah.
I go hot hoes over ugly bros.
Yeah.
I'm all hot hoes over ugly bros. Always have been. Always will be. I'll die liking attractive hoes over most bros.
If someone told me there's a party full of bros and a party full of hoes, I'm going to the hoes.
Yes, of course.
Anyway, so back to 4th of July. So he's not going to be there. So then I started yelling at all my friends, like, where are we going to set off these fireworks? And so then
because Joe's going with his bros.
And then I think Turkey Leg wussed out because he's having his kid's birthday party.
Is this whole thing falling apart? I thought you guys were all
it's all falling apart.
I thought it was all coming together.
I don't know. Everybody's old now.
So wait, Joe's not even going to be there?
No, yeah, Joe's not going to. And then so Turkey Leg's like, I'm already hosting a party on July 6th for my son's birthday party.
Paw Patrol. Great.
And he's
there's
like,
going to be no hose at that
so
party.
So we went on 2 parties. I'm like, oh, God. And then everybody else, they don't live in houses with big backyards. So then Andres.
The chat room wants us to do a hose before bros shirt. I think we should do a hose before bros shirt.
Yeah.
Want to do it? Let's do it.
I like hose more than bros.
Yeah, you too. I think most
who
guys.
Who doesn't? Ask the chat room. What do you like? You like bros?
Yeah.
I was on a boat full of bros. I'll tell you that.
Terrible. Even my wife likes it.
I said
my wife likes girls better than boys.
I was like, "Where's the hose?" I'm like, "This bro boat stinks."
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Anyway,
we'll get back to that later.
So anyway, so then Andres is like, okay, I'll do the 4th of July party, but he lives in like a condo. And he's like, but there's a public park.
You can't do fireworks at a public park.
Oh, no, okay, that's what I said.
You can't.
I was like, I think that's right. And then
you know why I know that? Because I said the same thing to Andrea about my fireworks, and she said, no, you can't do that.
Okay, I said that, and then everybody started calling me a P word, and then everybody from Miami is like,
well, you're gonna trash up the park, dude, with a bunch of Chinese paper. You put Chinese
that's
trash
what I said.
Everywhere.
And everybody said, this is Miami. You could do anything. Like if you.
Oh, everybody's like, no. Well, first of all, everybody's team ho, and everybody's team
ho and team no.
Yeah, it's a no on the park and a yes on the hose.
So yeah, I know that but these people are from Central Florida. They don't know the ruleless nature of Miami, and all my friends from Miami, like, you could do whatever you want.
Yeah,
you can go to a public park.
No respect for parks. Hate the parks.
They said there's no respect for public parks in Miami.
Yeah,
that you could do anything. If you wanted to set up fireworks and do a wheelie on the street, you could just do a wheelie.
You can urinate in the middle of the park, whatever you want.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
I'm like, they're gonna call the cops. He's like, no cops.
They will.
That's what they tell. I swear. And then the more questions I had, even Crystal was like, quit talking about it. Why are you so worried about it? I'm like, you can't set off a bunch because I got a bunch.
Yeah, I saw what you got some goodies. You got some goodies.
I got a big
some mortars.
And this is not political, but I had to buy it. It's a Let's Go Brandon.
You got the Let's Go Brandon.
Just to make everybody laugh.
Yeah. No matter how you cut it, the blank stare on that box is pretty awesome, I got to tell you.
But anyway, I got some and then I got
some Bitcoin.
No.
Shoot that up at this guy.
There's maybe a commercial on.
Yeah. Got a big
and I'm like, no one's going to, and everybody from Miami says no one's going to care. Everyone from Central Florida says you cannot do this.
Yeah.
So I don't know who to believe.
Well, I mean, is it a Miami park?
Yeah, it's down the street from Andre's house.
Are you bringing your one wheel? Are you going to do with your lighter?
Yeah.
But this time you're going to be shirtless with you have like a bandana on, a karate wig.
So, but I don't even know what park they're talking about. And
would it make you feel better if you knew the park?
No, it wouldn't. Because I don't even. But he's like, there's a park near my house.
Just let them do it. Bring the fireworks and just let them do it. Or will the idea?
No, I got to set it off.
Will you not be able to do it thinking that the cops are coming at any moment? And it'll just be like anxiety for you? Will it ruin your time?
No, I'll be drunk.
Okay. All right, that's fair. That's the correct answer.
And then when I hang out with my Miami friends, I get too drunk.
Okay, how many?
So I'll be belligerent drunk.
Serious question.
Yep.
What's the concentration of bros and hoes for the fireworks?
Well, there's all my friends have kids. It's all moms and dads.
Okay. So there's little bros and little hoes.
Yeah. There's
juniors.
There's gonna be like 17 kids.
Oh yeah.
And then a bunch of moms and dads.
Yeah.
We all walk down to the park. I'm like a huge crowd.
So you're gonna have to pull the fireworks in a wagon.
Yeah.
Or drive them down there. You may not even be able to carry all of them.
No, I got them in Rubbermaid bins. There's 3 bins of big-ass cakes.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I only got cakes this year because I knew about this park thing.
Yeah,
And I'm like, we
they
can't.
call you Daddy Cakes.
I'm like,
Cake Daddy.
I'm like, we need to get in and get out.
Oh,
the
the chat room is also, yeah, I didn't think about that. BDM Emily in the chat room bringing up something that I guess other people in Central Florida think about.
Yeah.
Public intoxication at a park.
Oh, they also said no one cares Miami.
So that's no problem.
The people, and I haven't lived there in 20 years. And 20 years ago, it was like this. So I imagine it's worse. But it is a lawless town. and
everyone's giving up on it? Is that?
Well, I guess the cops, at least my friends tell me this, the cops only worry about, like, they're like, a lot of them are corrupt.
Okay, all right. Well, that's going to work to your advantage.
And I've seen this, like, a couple times going down there, like, I'm by the mall,
why don't you shoot them off in a mall parking lot? Malls are dead.
And
what about a mall?
I'm riding on the 836, I believe, and there are a banshee doing a wheelie.
I love banshee wheelies.
There's like 2 banshees go by doing a wheelie.
Have you seen the banshees that shoot the fireworks off their banshee?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that guy?
That is cool.
That's Miami, 100%. I didn't even need to look at anything else. I'm like, look at that guy. He does a wheelie, and then he shoots Roman candles into the sky.
And it was daytime. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. There were people going to work beside him.
I was telling my sons, I'm like, look at that. And then they just go to, and I'm like, oh.
In the video,
and
it's the dude shooting.
No one cared.
He's shooting Roman candles. He's doing his wheelie, and he's shooting Roman candles. There are people, it's like the expressway.
Yeah.
And they're like going into work. It's like it's like 7 o'clock. 7:35.
And that's fine. And no one.
And he's just shooting, and his bros are filming him.
Yeah.
And then it's no problem.
And the cops are like, I'm not bothered with it.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
But anyway, that's what everybody.
Maybe
so
your
I'll
friends
tell
are
you.
right. Maybe your friends are right. So we'll get an update on that.
Yeah, when we get back from 4th of July, I'll tell you.
Andrea wouldn't let me get the Gatlin gun. She's like, "Where are you going to shoot it?" I was like, "Well, Tom says I can shoot it off my balcony." And she's like, "Well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." And I'm like,
"Well, that's what I said it for."
Sound cool? Doesn't it sound cool?
It'd make for a good social video.
You know, I was thinking
if she liked the company, she'd let you do it.
You know what I wanted to do is Catter Corner. I can't even say it. Catty Corner from my balcony.
Yeah.
There's a lady that has one of those, like, it's the new Orlando flag with the fountain.
All right, yeah.
And it's like spraying out the top, it's white. And I was like, I think I could blow that flag away. I think I could dust that flag with the Gatlin gun.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but the fact that the main thing in Orlando that we had to put on a flag
is
a stinky T-word shaped fountain, like
with lights. It's a glowing fountain.
Have you ever heard anybody like excited to see it?
No one comes here for that. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just and I know it's all we got.
What would you have put on the flag? A swan?
Well, it's hard. No, but that's stupid too.
Okay.
I understand it's hard.
What if we just put hose?
No. I don't know what we put on it. I just make it generic, but the fountain it makes it seem like we're proud of it, and I feel like we're not.
Okay.
Like, are you proud of it? I'm not proud of it.
I don't think of it. It's like
it's a nothing.
Yeah, it's a nothing to me.
I've told my kids, let's go see the fountain. I never tell people that are coming in town.
I did take Maisie to see the fountain, remember? And then a person on drugs chased her.
There's a lot of bums around. It's not the best representation of Orlando.
No, it's not.
Like I feel there's cooler places.
But we can't think of them. That's the thing. Is that we know we know.
You know what I'm talking about,
no,
right?
What I'm saying. I agree with you. We know there's cooler stuff to put on that flag. We just can't think of it. And that's what everybody in Orlando says. Like you do in the Orlando Weekly Awards, all of that. People will be like, coolest thing in Orlando. No one knows.
We got Sanford.
Don't say
half the stuff is in Sanford. Anyway,
that is the best.
So
we gotta take a break.
Yeah, and now I did for the first time go boating with Seth. I'll tell you that story on the BDM show.
How did you make that happen?
Well, I didn't go boating with him, but I met him on his boat.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you that story. And that'll be on the BDM show.
Yeah, if you're not a BDM, you can always sign up at comanddan.com/registration. We'd love to have you. Yeah.
And we will be right back.
Thank you, sir. What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
How are you? We're on Twitch and YouTube, just so you know.
First segment.
Good to see you.
I brought in a couple goodies.
Cool.
I know
Thanks,
visuals
man.
don't go for the radio too bad,
We're on camera. Yeah, we're on Twitch and YouTube right now, so you're good.
Yeah, just put them throw them on the couch, and we'll talk about them.
Let me save this guy as.
When do you guys start doing the first ones? When do you start recording today?
Oh, we already did.
We're already on.
That was the first segment. So yeah, we're yeah.
Where do you want me?
Right there.
Yeah,
you're good. And then there's headphones right.
Yep.
So yeah, and this is live on Twitch and YouTube now.
Good to see you too. Oh man, it's hot as balls in the greenhouse.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
I bet.
The only thing I had is we are not sure if we're renewing the shop lease or not yet. So I want to plug the events we're doing at the greenhouses, but online in the greenhouses, just because we don't know.
Okay.
What shop will be in the future?
A lot of people doing that. A lot of people are because property values. People think they know what they have. So I'm seeing a lot of my contemporaries in all businesses. Their rent's all going up, and we're losing. We're not losing them, man. But it's in this weird thing where it's gonna. I think it's gonna have to come down because I've got delis that I'm losing. I got small coffee houses are gone. Plant people are like, and everybody's like,
the rent's too expensive.
Rent is too expensive, but it's gonna have to shake out.
And then you look at it online, and you're just like, well, why not just sell everything online? Because it's just so you're like, what's the? But there's still an old school aspect of having a store but maybe that is old school, but there's some sort of like pride in having a store, and then people come into your store, and then here's your stuff that you sell.
There is,
and then online is kind of like a notch below, but then you started like, well, how expensive is it to own this store? What am I doing it for?
I'm kind of with Christine. Like Christine says, I hate buying plants online. I want to be picky and select one that speaks to me. Yeah, once you walk around a place and look at plants, you're like, oh, I love this.
There's a certain emotional thing where you're like, I'll talk about it.
Andrews are out of control. You saw them. We're doing good. We've become plant folks.
All right.
Now my whole kitchen is a jungle, man.
Does Maisie like plants?
Loves them.
Okay.
Cool. She waters a lot.
I brought this one just for her.
Well, she waters. Oh, thank you, dude. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
She waters a lot of them. That's like her.
Oh,
her thing.
Ever since I learned, it's stupid because I've been into plants for a while, about feeding plants, then it's become way easier for me. Like, if you just throw a shit ton of food at them, like they'll always be fine. And it'll be great. Yeah. But like, I didn't realize how important that was. But you just feed the shit out of them all the time. Like now, every time I water them, it's just a bunch of food. I just buy Amazon recurring
Have some vitamins, boys.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Would you like to start, my friend?
Sure.
This is...
Is it 4? Segment 4?
I'm going to tell you so we don't mess it up. Hold on. Come on.
And just so I know, is it 20 minutes?
It is 2.
Segment... segment 2?
No. It's segment 4. You're right.
Okay.
Sorry.
And then how
it's
long?
It's 4 and it's 16.
Okay, perfect. So we got 16.
But you can go longer than that because remember that just gets you to 20, and then we have some buffer area. So if it goes to 18, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Our buddy Shane from Gabriel Plants are here. How you doing, Shane?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, dude. How you been?
Good. Been really good.
So how is the plant business? I know that, there's plants have exploded in popularity. And if you get into, like, we've got a BDM page called Growers and Showers.
Oh yeah,
it's all dedicated to plants.
Very active page.
And then like the subculture of plant people is gigantic, and they can't get enough of it.
Yeah, well,
I think I'm part of that culture.
You are part of that culture.
I don't know why.
My wife has become part of that culture, namely because of Gabriella. Like and using. Like just starting from scratch, Andrea, kind of my wife, would start with a couple of little plants here and there, and now our entire kitchen, I think we have like maybe...
It's addicting. Once you're in it, you can't get out.
I think we have like 22 plants in the kitchen now, and we started with like 4 from you, and now it's too many.
Shane, let me ask you this, and I don't know if you ever thought about this, if you ever partake in marijuana.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know if you're a marijuana guy, but I am, so it causes me to think crazy overthought, overthinking everything. But I get deep into analyzing what the hell, why is this certain thing, or why do I act this way? And I started getting deep into analyzing why do I act like plants.
What'd you come up with?
So I came up with that I like them because they represent an amount of work it took to get them somewhere.
Okay.
So, for instance, it takes work to feed them, water them, get them the right amount of sunlight.
It's like discipline. It's probably why you like running. No, I'm serious. Yeah. It's probably why you like that. It's like it takes an amount of discipline to do it.
And then when I see them flourishing and growing bigger and stuff, and like sometimes you can get a plant or like a really nice showpiece. And then it's like when I walk by it, it gives me a sense of accomplishment.
Okay.
Because
Which is the closest you can get to joy.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
All right.
And then I'm like, oh yeah.
He never gets to joy. No. He only gets to accomplishment.
I grew this plant. I took care of it. I made sure it got the right nutrition, and now it's big, and I enjoy that aspect.
Yeah, same as a fish tank or whatever other hobby you have. The more mastery you get over something, the more you find enjoyment in it.
Now, we had a fish tank here. I don't know if you remember, and it exploded, and it almost bankrupted our company. We had to have this place professionally cleaned. My daughter was kicking fish poo everywhere. She's doing cartwheels over here. The two guys from Serve Pro were yelling at her. It was a mess. Plants don't do that. I don't think you leave and go away for the weekend and you come back and your plants have taken over your house and destroyed everything.
No, they'll just die.
I'm going with plants. I'm going to side with plants on this one. Plants better than fish.
Easier to throw away too.
Yeah. But don't flush your plants down the toilet. Just do that with fish.
So, Shane, I know you brought in some plants for us to look at, and I appreciate that.
I saw you over here. Tom's over here, eagle-eyeing all of them.
By the way, I wanted you to bring in some plants.
Well, that's why you... Because, see, he sent me a photo last night, like, look at all the great plants that...
I love manipulation.
Manipulative.
And
manipulative.
It's so easy.
I guarantee you, if I didn't text Tom, I wouldn't be here today, because he would have forgotten too. So
that's true. You know
that never forgets free plants.
But the photo only happened after I asked if we were still on for 11.
Yeah. I wanted to remind you. I'm like, we are still on. Luckily, you text me because I did forget.
You should bring me.
And here's a picture of all the other plants you've brought, so you better show up. Because if you don't show up with plants, I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna say anything.
I'm like, who are you?
But I'll be disappointed in my head anyway. So I want to talk to you about a plant. I guess it's the first time I've ever seen this. I got an email from a BDM telling me, hey, Tom, check this out. I ordered a bioluminescent plant.
Yes.
And then I was like, nah, that's some you got scam.
I've never heard of a bioluminescent plant.
And then he's like, yeah, apparently it's this new thing, whatever. He got it. And because I told him, text me back or email me if it actually works. And then he sent me a picture. It's hard, just like real bioluminescence, it doesn't do well with photography for whatever reason. Yeah. So like in person.
Well, your iPhone's trying to not take a photo of a completely dark room, so it's trying to make everything brighter, lighter.
Yeah. So like the actual bioluminescence in the ocean, you could see a lot clearer through your human eye than you can through the photos. So he's like, it looks better in person, but here's a picture, and it damn sure was glowing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, weird. And so do you know anything about that? What is that?
What's up with them glowing plants?
Well, I will say it's from overseas. I don't want to get it wrong, but Netherlands or something. There's a lot more
China. I heard China. No.
There's a lot more science being put into plants than has ever happened before. I mean, like Monsanto made like genetically modified corn so that you could spray Roundup in the fields. Like that was like an 80s or earlier thing. But now we're finally getting to, just like you can designer babies with the CRISPR technology, we're now getting that in plants, which it's very new. Most companies don't have the money. I mean, we don't. We work with soil and that kind of deal. But you're getting a lot more scientific integration into plants to come up with some of those cool things. So it's definitely cool. I have two. I killed one of them so far, but the other one's doing good.
Does it work? Does it look cool?
Yeah. The flower is a little bit brighter than the foliage, but that's kind of how it was designed.
Gotcha. Now I know
that's nuts to me, man. Like that is absolutely crazy. Is it to the point where if you were to touch the plant, it would get on you?
No. It's all genetics. It is
just through that
plant tissue that glows.
Interesting.
What's weird is it because it's a living organism in the oceans that create the bioluminescence, and when you disturb the water, it basically causes them to like light up for a split second, as part of the like defense mechanism or something like that. But it's like some sort of algae that does that. So in the plant, I was like, is this the same algae or what the hell is it?
I wonder how
internally
efficient the light is too, because I was reading an article yesterday about lightning bugs and how they are considered their light is the world's most efficient. Like 100% of the energy of what they're doing is what you're seeing. It's the
really?
the thing.
It's kind of impressive. I mean, they're bright for being a tiny fly.
So my point is with this plant, like to me, it's like that could be. Imagine you grew plants to a point where they become natural light.
Oh yeah, your backyard is filled. Your whole backyard is
you need to get on that now. You get on that now.
Well, it's not there yet. The technology.
You gotta start learning about it now.
Well, I'm not a botanist. I can't do it.
You're gonna have to.
No, I just wait until Gabriella gets it, and then I'll buy it from Shada. And by buy, I mean invite him on the show.
The Hawaiian theme, the bananas, that's not working. You gotta go bioluminescent backyard.
Yeah, they also have a patent on it too. So the process of making it. So you can't even. One of my friends, who's actually a botanist and scientist, and really cool, Tyler Thrasher, really cool guy.
What a cool name, Tyler Thrasher.
And he does a glow in that they're not growing plants, but dead, preserved like poppy flowers, that kind of thing, and then he'll dip them in like a bioluminescent material and sell them that way. He calls it moonbeam flora. Anyways, he reached out to me and was like, "Hey, what exactly are the legalities?" Like, I'm a lawyer, but like, what are the legalities of, can I take this and like breed it with another, because it's a petunia, can I breed it with another petunia? And if I get a different color bioluminescent, but the way that patent law works, you can't directly replicate the plant itself, and you can't use it in a breeding environment.
So that's when you get into that big business, and then you got big plant bioluminescent coming to get you. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be bad.
What's weird is it's a living organism, so to patent some living organism is bizarre, kind of. You know, it's like not some invention.
Do they do it with dogs?
Oh, it's all over the place.
Do they do it with like animals?
No, I don't think they do it with breeds of dogs.
Do they do it with cattle? How about cattle? Is there a specific type of?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think it's, you know, it's so whatever. And sometimes you just get it through the patent office, and then people get screwed that way. And it's like, and then a bunch of people are like, you shouldn't have patented this. Like now they're the only people doing this, and no one else can get in, and it's actually unfair.
Right.
You know,
and we had a couple like original plants that are cultivars that we have brought to the market that were original to us, and the question was often like, should we patent those for ourselves? And my answer to everyone who's ever asked is, a patent is just a license to sue. So unless you actually want to go hire lawyers and sue everybody, which the big Fortune 500 companies can, you know, not what I want to do with my Mondays. So.
That's what everybody, every lawyer told us about making. They patented anything Tom
with
and Dan.
our name or mediocre time or anything.
And they're like, oh, you got to get that. I remember other people that are not familiar with like business would tell us, like, oh, you got to patent this. You know,
start with this.
And
you
then
need this.
A lawyer's like, do you want to just sue people all the time?
You're just wasting money.
Yeah. And then we're like, no. And they're like, don't patent nothing. It's like, because all it is for the inevitable lawsuits that you're going to have to file, and it's just a bunch of money. So do you want to do that? So speaking of like genetically modifying plants, I know we've talked about this before, because you have some unique plants that are one-offs, they're like variegated, and that's something your dad, was it your dad? I forgot. Your dad did this, and then so they're
explain that in layman's terms. What?
So I'll let Shane do it. I could do it, but I'll defer to Shane.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some original cultivars. Rio being the one that we love the most, Philodendron Rio. It's a sport, or basically a mutation of Philodendron Brazil or Hederaceum Brazil. That dad basically saw one single strand and was like, man, this is kind of cool. This looks totally different. It has kind of a silvery color instead of the like green on lime green. And he was like, well, let's see what happens if I trim it, propagate it. Does it hold? And then sure enough, it did. And then, you know, generation after generation of chopping and propping, as you've been doing too.
Yeah.
And we were able to bring a couple of those to market. The other cool thing that we've been doing since we last spoke is really investing in the breeding program that we have. So actually taking two different plants. I wish I could have brought them in, but they're way too big, especially like anthuriums like this one.
Oh, he's getting
and
there you go.
Yeah, this is actually an anthurium that we created by taking two different anthuriums. One has like a notch in the top, and the Forgetii parent doesn't. So we took those two, took the pollen from one, rubbed it on the other one, basically made the plants have sex, and then we got something really cool out of it. So we're at number 17 of original ones, I think, at this point, from the breeding program. But the other ones that Dad found were Gabby and Rio, which were cultivars or sports. This is more man-made, forced, by trying to, breed two plants together.
Yeah. And I do like when you, because, when you breed animals, you put them in the same pen, but it's their choice to mate, right? With plants, you're basically raping them.
Yeah. And that's what you like about it.
You just take, from the male plant and you put it in the female plant.
It's as simple as that.
And then you're like, you're gonna, like, no matter what, I didn't really ask you. You're taking
right. I got you.
And then I'm gonna sell whatever I get from this.
I'm also gonna take all your babies and sell them.
That sounds horrible.
What's interesting? I'm the only person that's ever described it like that.
Yeah, that's why you love it. That's like you just told him that you get high and you lay around thinking about forcing yourself on your plants. That's what you said. I get high and I think about this stuff all the time.
So the other part about the plant process that I like is the propagation, because this happens with marijuana too, where a lot of marijuana strands are from one mother plant that they have made tens of thousands of pounds of weed from one plant, because you could take cuttings from that plant and then take cuttings from that plant, and then it just it grows and grows until you have this huge army from this one plant, because they found that one plant produces really good high potency marijuana.
It's the one.
And the same thing with like other plants, like the way they look is super unique to that plant, because just like humans, there's a lot of genes that go into it, and that could be a 1 in a million or 1 in 10 billion whatever plant, and you can then propagate that plant and make tens of thousands. So I like that aspect.
Yeah, that
of
is
it too.
cool. It's like almost kind of like a legacy to it.
No, it is legacy. But in our business, obviously growing all indoor foliage plants, the wider selection, the better. So I mean, last week we had close to 400 SKUs in stock, 400 different types of plants for sale at the same time.
And so let's talk about the business. I know the store. When did that open, by the way? Was that a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it was Mother's Day 2021, I want to say.
And I know every year you do like a big free plant giveaway, and there's tons of people to show up. And
oh my God, I have listeners that will write me like, "When is that?" I'm talking about. You gotta look it up, man. I don't know. Reach out to them.
Well, okay. But before we talk about the store, another plant thing that I noticed is the people that are really into plants, and this is like you start collecting plants, and then all of a sudden you hit a threshold of your family can't take it anymore.
We can't take it anymore.
And because there's too many. And then
well, we just move some around.
But it's like there's too many to take care, and then I feel
I want to keep taking them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So then we start.
I don't turn them down.
Yeah. But we start like giving away as gifts and stuff. But then you get into propagating your plants, and then you get more plants. And then just like with people that have fruit trees, nobody wants around like all your friends and family.
Like, oh God, he's gonna give me another plant.
Yeah. Which they say they always like it, but I do feel like, am I forcing these plants onto people?
You are. It's fine. It's fine though.
The first crop of oranges for the year is great.
Yeah.
The third week in a row when you come in on Monday and say, "Hey, I got more oranges for you,"
there's a whole bucket. A bucket. Just take one. Take one, please.
So, just in the plant business, have you seen that like? With Crocs, there was a big thing in business with like they made Crocs too well, so they lasted too long.
Oh, they last forever.
And so that was a negative to the corporation that they realized. And I don't know how you fix that. They wouldn't admit, like, we made them S-ier now, so people have to buy new ones.
I read an article on that, and what they did is they tried to make the price point, they tried to lower the price point a little bit. There was a time when they were just a little bit more expensive, but they tried to lower the price point so people will buy more of them.
Okay.
Because now they're in different variations.
Yeah,
like
get one every color,
right,
every outfit.
More of an accessory now. So that's what they tried to do to remedy it.
So, Shane, because I know you're a businessman, when you look around and then like, all right, there's a lot of people that are passionate about plants, but there is a problem when they get too many plants and then they slow down their buying because their husband or their wife is like, you've got too many plants, you got to get rid of it.
You need the turn it and burn it guy that can, you know, like.
So then how do you get that in the plant world where all your customers have already collected dozens of different plants and then filled their house
a stall or a slowdown with people?
You do see it a little bit over time, but the cool thing is with plants, there's just so many different kinds. I mean, like we're talking about house plants right now, but I think one of the things in like a macro sense, because it's all the same disease, you're still addicted to everything that you started the show like talking about, right? So
amphetamine too.
We're addicted to a lot of things.
THC,
caffeine.
But you say THC is not addictive.
And sex.
It's addictive.
but you move from, you know, maybe house plants in one season, then you maybe get really into gardening, and in that time, you know, you may forget to water some plants and you kill some off. You know, plants typically will kind of, they don't have a life cycle. You can keep them alive forever. But I mean, even in Texas, I mean, things outside of our control, a hurricane coming can damage your plants outside. There's some natural like loss just over years that helps us out. But I think the bigger thing you see is people going from, you know, house plants to like carnivorous plants, and then over to orchids, and then to, you know what I mean? Like to the citrus and the gardening, and then they kind of circle back to the house plants, but they never really get away from it. They just kind of change their focus.
Cycle through. Yeah, I got you.
And for gifts, I feel like if you know a plant person, you get them a plant, 100% home run every time.
Oh, yeah.
For a gift.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
They're never going to be, because
to me, it's decor.
Yeah.
You know, like it makes your house look cooler. So to me, I'm just like, oh, all right.
In fact, and then you could tell your spouse, like, listen, they got me this as a gift. Like, so then it gets you out of them yelling at you, you bought another plant.
Yeah.
Oh, the number of times a customer's like, hey, can you just take the prices off the packing slip so it, you know, looks like it just came in.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
So Shane, for like, what's going to happen with the store?
Well, we're not sure of the store future, but what we are really excited for is this year we brought back what we were doing before the store ever existed in 2019. We called it Second Saturday. Super original. Happens every second Saturday of the month, but it's at the greenhouses. So we have over an acre of greenhouses. Whoa. We had last time about 1,500 different plants for people to walk through and shop from. And we offer hourly tours of the greenhouse, show you everything we're working on, tell you some of the story. It's a really cool experience. If people want to check that out, GP for Gabriella Plants, gpsecondsaturday.com. There's a Facebook event they can get involved with.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
gpsecondsaturday.com.
And of course, you can shop online at gabriellaplants.com.
I think a lot of our chat room's already on there. It's a nice thing to be able to listen to you and just shop for plants. You know?
I've been to the greenhouse. It's dope, really cool to see. You know,
and we got to do an event for some Tom and Dan out there. Do a special night or something. That'd be awesome.
I know.
Like a plant night would be cool.
I'd love to wander through there and just learn.
I'll let Tom lead the tours.
Yeah. You can
given he knows everything.
Bunch of misinformation.
Here's my plant tip of the day, and this got me. It's way easier. Just buy as much plant food as you possibly can from Amazon and just feed them crazy, because then your plants they'll flourish.
Yeah.
They'll thrive with just plant. I didn't realize how important it was just to feed them at all times. And then I was like, man, there's no overfeeding. You just feed the hell out of them. You're wasting money. It's throwing money at it, but they'll live.
Do they look good?
Oh, they look great. They just feed the hell out of all of them. Like so much, but I'm buying like hundreds of dollars a month in plant food that I'm hiding from Crystal. But and then I'm sprinkling it everywhere, putting it in like liquid plant food or the sprinkles and the whole thing. Food.
Got his plants on the juice. I like it. Get them going, man.
Oh, Shane, thanks so much.
Yeah,
for
dude. Always a good time to see you, man. And thanks for being here.
Till next time.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
We will see you tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Anytime, man. It's always fun to talk plants.
Also, I was going to show this one, but it would have been a little too long for 20 minutes.
Oh,
Have you ever seen one of these?
No. What is
This is an ant plant. Okay. And it is the plant itself.
I was looking at that.
The plant itself grows this way and puts the tunnels in along with the holes on the outside for ants to get in. It's not a symbiotic, which would mean they both need each other, but it's mutualistic. This is native to Borneo, sits in a tree, and so the ants having to try to hide in the bark during a rainstorm, they can crawl
Chill
right
out in
on
that.
in. and it doesn't attract the ants. The ants don't need it, but
it's
it
there.
also benefits.
It's there.
So
it's like a little hideout for them.
Is it when the dead ants it'll feed off of them?
Excrement and dead ants. Yeah.
Okay. So like
that's badass.
So it lures the ants so that.
I brought you guys both one, so they start out looking.
Oh, hold on! I'll put this on the camera the first time everybody sees. Look at this guy.
So that little
guys, look at that.
part is a caudex, is what you call it. This is how small as a seed. We grow these from seed.
Can you hold up the big boy or the? Oh yeah, the big boy, so everybody can see him on your camera.
And
look at this guy. Look at that, guys.
So that is what was it called again?
Ant plant.
An ant plant.
This is the coolest plant I've ever seen.
So this plant, basically, Shane told us that it grows with tunnels inside it.
Here, I'll put your camera.
Would that would be underground normally, right?
No, in a tree.
Oh, it'd be in a tree.
It sits them in the tree, so they don't, like he said, they don't have to hide in the bark. They can go into this little. It's like a little apartment.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and
it's badass. Like it's better than yeah, it's crazy and
it's evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they don't need each other. They can survive without it, but yeah.
Hold on, let me see what the chat room's saying.
the plant can get like whatever the
ordering ant plant now. All right.
The ant shit, and then the ants that die in the plant, it'll get nutrients from that, and then the ants will get a place to hide from the storms.
This work in Florida with any ants, or
they won't attract ants?
So the ants need it.
It needs to be in a place where the ants would need it. Yeah.
I wonder if I could put that in my oak tree, and
you may.
The problem is like you start putting plants far away from you seeing them every day, and you forget about taking care of them. Like I had to group all my shit together,
but they don't need much. They're kind of epiphytic, so meaning they don't normally have soil in them. They just kind of survive off the rain.
Now we're doing a plant show because everybody's like, "Can someone help me with my orchids? I have no idea how to care for them, and they look crazy." How much does an ant plant cost? Where can I get an ant plant?
Also, you want to see something else really cool for you, Dan? Have we talked about? I meant to talk about these. Scan that QR code.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna scan the QR code.
Yeah, we'll do a second part of the show but this is for Twitch and YouTube only.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Yeah, orchids are people say they're easy to take care of, but all my orchids are fucking dying.
No, yeah, they're tricky.
I think they're hard.
They're tricky because they don't want anything. But this is our story stakes. So every plant that we grow comes with a complete story of the date it was planted, the person on the team that planted it, what kind of soil it was potted in, any care information. So you actually have your plant's birthday.
Oh, this is
that's always been a cool thing that you guys have offered that I think is a brilliant
April 27th. It's his birthday.
Because they do become things that they depend on you
to take care of them.
Planted
by Amanda.
So no matter
Thank
what,
you, Amanda.
our human brain is going to care for them like
look at the color. Oh,
an animal.
Whoa.
Begonia passing storm.
Look at the colors on that.
Yeah.
It's like it's iridescent almost, right?
Yeah. Very.
Oh, she's gonna love that, dude. Thank you so much, man. That's so cool.
I found these delicate ones are harder for me to take care of.
What is this? A begonia passing storm.
Glow up. Take care of this one, okay?
Oh,
look at that.
It will eventually get to be over 6 foot in length for the leaf. It will.
The
leaves will become giant.
And then you can make tamales.
That's my ultimate end goal. I'll quit as soon as I can wrap myself in a plant leaf like a cocoon. Once I can fully fit in a large leaf, I'm done.
These things will get 6 foot?
The leaves.
The leaves 6 foot?
Yeah.
Wow.
They'll get huge. So you'll want to give it something to climb up on over time. But yeah, I want to bring in those.
I've been thinking about, I got these huge oak trees in front of my house, and I've been wanting to have a philodendron climb up. But my wife's so used to seeing pothos, and she's like, I don't want this trash ass pothos, climbing because it's trash. But I'm like, no, we'll get some variegated philodendron that, and people will know. And she's like, it looks like pothos. I'm like, no. I'm like,
no, dude.
Yeah. And I'm like, any plant person will know. Like, oh, he's got some nice climbing.
It's like my 59 Vespa. Once the electric kit's in it and it's running, people will see it and go like, oh, it's a 59 Vespa. But only couple people will look and see the swing arm and go, That's electric. Yeah, it is a thing. It's a flex. It is a subtle. I love a subtle flex.
So if I walk by someone's oak trees, they got some shit ass pothos. I'll be like, oh, you let some garbage vine, but then you got some variegated philodendron that's rare.
I support that.
I'll be like, oh shit, this guy's got some.
Because normally you're not a flex guy. I like this. I like this flex.
Although you do run the risk of the cutting fucking. Cuttings off. Because think about like if you have a gigantic rare.
I mean, it's better seeing your prank than like getting your house TP'd or something.
Yeah.
Oh man, they took a little bit of my giant plant in my tree.
Those ethereums are those like velvet? Like the leaves look like velvet.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one of those.
I wish I could have brought in the two parents, but yeah, that one's pretty dope.
Isn't that the one you gave? That's the one you gave Andrea.
Andrea's got one.
Yeah, Andrea's got one of them. Or she may have ordered it from you, but that thing's awesome. Yeah, it's thriving.
I was jealous of that one, and then I ordered one, and I fucking killed it. And I was embarrassed. I tried to say I put it in my greenhouse. I was like, "Don't die, you motherfucker!" And,
he's real serious about it.
Yeah. And then you know what happens? I water them.
The chat room is. They're all freaking out. They're like, "Look at how happy Tom is."
Yes, the closest we get to joy, ladies and gentlemen.
Take a good look at some of the fucking smiles you're getting. You're not going to get these tomorrow. You're not. The rest of the week is anger.
This is all more work for me to do. I like it.
You love it. This thing's fucking amazing, dude.
Right? It's a pretty cool plant.
It's a very cool plant, and the fact that it also like you would think that thing is heavy. It's not.
And the other cool thing, going to Tom's point that he had in the show, this all came from one plant. We had one plant that produced seeds, and we grew them from seeds. So you're literally taking one and just producing more and more.
So, like germination has always been difficult for me.
The germination.
Amanda's really good at it. That's why we let her.
Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Shout out.
Have you ever dabbled in the palm business?
No. You want to get in the palm business?
But when I was maybe 4 years old, we went to the big industry convention in South Florida.
Yeah.
And I was like a 5-year-old entrepreneur. Going around trying to wheel and deal on what I could get from these different vendors, and one of them gave me a bag of like 100 palm seeds, and I think they became the bane of my dad's existence for a little while because I was out there every day. He's like, "What are we gonna do with these palms?" Like, so.
Anyway, we're in the small house plant.
We're
business.
not palm man.
Also, one more business tip for you. I can say it to Twitch, but if you look at our social media, I had the brilliantest thing because my wife is currently expecting.
Oh, congratulations!
So I'm a plant daddy and future dad as well.
You'll love it.
But so we were like, hey, let's make a coupon code for the website where people can save money by guessing boy or girl, and then the people who guess correctly entered to win a $240 gift card for 2024.
I love these. Dude, I do these all. This is what Madden does on. They do these games. You got to guess right to get the win. Oh, I love these.
But best week of sales all year.
Yeah. I like
it worked out really well.
That's killer. Man.
It's been fun.
Very cool.
Awesome.
I'll let you guys get on with your day.
Oh,
so.
you're good, man. You're good. It's always good seeing you.
One more segment.
Thank you again for the plants, dude. Really appreciate you. Thank you. Do you mind getting a photo?
Yeah, no, we can.
Let's hold our plants and get a photo, right?
You want me to hold the big one?
Yeah. And I'll get the little guy.
Nobody will understand it because it's not actually on the radio segment, but you know.
Okay.
You can kick that out of the way.
No, it's all good.
3, 2. Got it.
Sweet.
Thank you, man.
Of course. You guys have a great rest of
You
your
as
day.
well.
I'll
You as well.
be listening to the BDM show and it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Can't wait to see how Seth showed you up. Or
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I don't even know the story.
This will air tonight, and then obviously this is going out live.
Oh, the fish.
Great rest of your day.
Yeah,
You too, man. Good seeing you.
See you next time.
Yes, sir.
Keep me posted on that if you want to do the.
I will.
Like
Yeah.
a night just for Tom and Dan listeners.
We definitely need to do that. Yeah.
Share a BDM, everyone gets an ant plant for free or something.
Okay,
That would be dope.
Yeah.
You know, way to tie it
I'll dress like an ant.
There we go.
I'll wear an ant
Stand up
costume.
in a tree.
Yeah, it'd be funny. Everybody would be laughing at it. To go back to Shred Bear, I wanted to let you guys know because I didn't want any. I don't like lingering tales. Yes, all the fish made it into the truck. They were fine. So, see you, man. You too. All the fish made it back. They all made it back because they brought the big old truck from Top Shelf Aquatics. I forgot. It was those 2 Spanish real men that came, and they were having some sort of family party at the house, and they were like, fuck, man, I've never been more happy that your fish tank exploded because we didn't want to be there. The 2 guys that cleaned up the fish. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
They were all pissed. They were like, we didn't want to not be at that party. They were at like some party with like a bunch of old ladies or their wives bitching at them, and they're like, we'd rather go clean up fish shit. Spanish real men are, you know. Oh, all right. Well, no, that's not true, Frog and Molly. We had fish die in the tank. The fish that we were caring for died. The fish that they got everybody, I think. That ant plant, Andrew's going to freak the fuck out. How do I get it big? Got to read about this thing. And I'll buy some... we haven't been feeding our plants at all, and they're doing really well, the little indoor ones we have in the kitchen. We have like close to 20 now. Yeah, exactly, Jen. That's what he said. I gotta figure out what plant food to get. Is this thing still broken? It is not. Maybe smacking it around is what fixed it. Oh, DeBerry Joe, it's hot out there, buddy. Be careful. All right, you want to do one more for...
Yeah, we could do a segment for Tuesday. Let's just put Tuesday 3.
And do some voicemails?
Yeah, we could also talk about the raw dogging flights.
Oh, okay, I got that. I got that ready to go. Let's talk about that.
The digital biker gang.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about the raw dogging flights thing. That's funny. All right. I'll bring us back. 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So I don't know how this ended up on my algorithm, but I started getting TikTok videos of people, and it's just it's a video of them staring at either the front of the seat at an airplane, or they're staring at the instruction manual for like how to put your life jacket on and during an emergency landing or whatever.
I do read all of that stuff. I think it's the nerves of me being on a flight. Because I'm a bad flyer. I will get all of that stuff out and read all of it. It's nerves.
And it's called raw dogging flights. And someone will put they'll just have a picture or a video of them, and they'll be like 17 hours to Australia. I raw dogged, no bathroom, no water.
Here's one.
I just stared at this instruction manual.
Here's one you sent me so people
this
can get an idea of this. Here we go. I'll put this on the big screen here.
Suddenly raw dogging flights. Men are going viral for staring at real-time flight maps to get through long-haul journeys. They challenge themselves to not eat or drink, deprive themselves of any entertainment, and aren't even allowed to visit the bathroom. The barebackers believe that true raw doggers take no indulgences. So, are you a true raw dogger?
All right. Are you a true raw dogger?
And so it's like a challenge.
You used to talk about this with your grandpa. This is Pop in it.
Yeah.
This is your old grandpa's concept of
going to the waiting room in the doctor's office. When I used to take
magazines, no pamphlets,
and you wouldn't even face the TV. They'd have Fox News on. You think he'd love it.
Yeah.
Although he wasn't a news guy. He just liked watching HBO boxing and old westerns. Never news.
Pretty good stuff.
But
I do like an old western.
He just sit there in the doctor's office staring forward, not looking at the TV. I'm like, what are you doing? You just sit there with your own thoughts, and there's this thing. Although it's impossible to prove whether you did it or not.
They're going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to the bathroom in a 17-hour flight. Come on, man.
But the joke of this is spread around the internet, and now it's a thing. Raw dogging flights.
I mean, I do. Okay, this you and I were talking about this a little bit this morning, and then it kind of spiraled into something that I have a problem with this. It is an anxiety issue, and I know some people get sick and tired of my anxiety, but tell me if you guys understand this, or maybe you felt this way.
Well, also Daniel's sick and tired of his anxiety.
Yeah. Thank you. Finally, somebody's saying
he's telling you his suffering.
Yeah, I'm not.
You don't like it.
I don't like it at all. I hate it.
Yeah. He wishes it never was a thing.
If I'm in the doctor's office, right, and I went last week. You know, you and I we're older men. We got to get our medications, and we got to go to the doctor.
And so, it's a damn racket, so they make you show up.
It is. I hate it. So I go there, and when I'm in there, I'm sitting in the room. I have a thing where I don't like to be caught by the doctor on my cell phone.
Okay, all right.
I don't. So when I'm in there, if they make me sit on the paper, if they make me sit in the chair, no matter what, I try not to sit on the paper, but sometimes they're like, get on the paper. and I'll sit there, and I will fight. I will leave my phone in my pocket, and I'll look at anything around the room. I'm looking at the picture. I'll look at all the
the skeletal structure.
I look at the structures. I look at they got a plastic eyeball in there that shows you how the optic nerve works. I look at that. I look in the sink. I look at where they put away the sharps. I look at where they dispose
cotton balls.
Yeah, I look at all of that. I might even open a couple drawers. I'm
What's
brazen.
in there?
Yeah, I'll open a couple drawers. I'm walking around, but I do not want to be caught on my phone. I hate it. It's a thing. And you started laughing, and then you admitted to me you do the same thing.
Well, if I hear the doctor's footsteps coming, I'll be like, oh, and I'll put my phone into my pocket.
You'll hear him talking. I'll be like,
yeah. I'll be like, oh, they're here, and then I'll put it
talking to the other person.
You're right.
And then they come, and then they go, they do the knock, and then I'm like, oh.
I don't know why. You're right.
It's like if my mom knocked on the door and I had my penis out. You know what I mean? It's like they knock on the door, I'm like, oh.
I want them to think that I sat there raw dogging
yes.
the whole time.
Do it.
So that I wasn't just looking at my phone, because that's a weakness, I think. You know, it's like I have to stimulate myself. Like, I'm not strong enough just to sit there staring forward, because I'm not. I need the phone.
I'll get my phone out. I'm taking pictures, sending them to Andrea. I'm like, they're late.
Dude, I'm scrolling through Reels. I'm going to my emails. I'm going to my Facebook messages. Like, there's a routine, like a whole cycle.
It's a circle, right?
Yeah, I go look at all my gambling sites.
Do you know how long your screen time is?
I never look at that.
God, mine popped out yesterday. It told me I spend 4 hours a day on my phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, 4 hours? Well, it was 3 hours, 59 minutes. It made me laugh. I couldn't squeak out that last minute.
It's a lot.
It is. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
But then again.
And magazines, like, now I'm conditioned where magazines are a nothing. That's old news. That's everything that's printed on that is I mean, it's old.
The thing about the phone time is, I look at it like, because Crystal, she wants to, she constantly, like, I'm going to get a flip phone. I'm going to get, because she has no self-discipline like you.
Thank you for saying that. You know, F you.
Where you're like, get these chips away from me. You can't just do.
I can't do that.
You're like,
well, in certain things I can. Certain things I can. Snyder's, honey mustard, and onion, you can't. I got no self-control.
So she's like, I want to just get rid of my smartphone and only have a flip phone.
I'm the type of guy where if I'm eating a bag of Ruffles and I can't stop eating them, that I have to take them into the sink and pour water in the bag.
I
have to water.
That's what Crystal's doing with her cigarettes.
Yeah, I have to do it with cigarettes too. I have to water the bag of chips, and then sometimes.
And
here's how bad I am. Sometimes if I'm drunk and those chips are in there, I'll look in the wet bag that I wetted all the chips and see maybe there's a couple Crispies on the top. Maybe there's a couple little Crispies on the top that I can
pick out of there.
Pick them out.
Yeah. So
that's how bad I am.
But I tell her, I'm like, you can't. You have you're a realtor. You need to have a phone that has emails. Like,
she's gonna get no emails on her phone?
Well, she
just calls only.
She wanted a flip phone. Yeah, like no screen.
Is she gonna do the texting where you have to hit the letter A 12 times?
And then I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, just don't have some self-control. Don't look at your phone so much.
Don't they make phones now that do like a little bit of everything, where you can get like a hybrid, where it's like a flip, but it's got like a little bit of Google on it.
But I tell her, like, what about GPS? You need the GPS. She's
like, gonna get an old TomTom and put it in her car. She needs to get an old TomTom.
And I'm like, just don't waste time scrolling. And she's like, that's what I'm like to do.
Yeah.
Because that's what.
But you also can't say that, because you waste time scrolling too.
Yes.
So when you say that to her, I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying, from an emotional person, if you say that to me, I hate you now when you say that. You know what I mean? Like I get mad at you when you say
But
that.
I justify it by saying I'm on an entertainment show.
Sure.
I need to know things that are
I
going
need to
out.
know memes. I have to know the memes.
I need to know information that pops up because I can talk about it.
Who's going to explain the memes to my audience if I'm not down in there manipulating?
It's completely BS.
Yeah.
But I tell myself and I tell everybody.
Yeah, that's why I tell Andrea, why do you have to play video games? I'm like, because our listeners like video games, and if I'm not playing them, then I'm letting the world pass me by.
Yeah. I need to talk about them so I can connect with our listeners, our customers.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm connecting with our customers.
I could be unloading the dishwasher, but that's going to keep me from. I mean, you want you want the show to die faster.
But the truth is, I'm addicted. Just like everything. What do you do with THC? Addicted. Amphetamine? ADD? Nah. Addicted. Anyway, back to raw dogging flights.
Yes.
I've seen Crystal do this, and I'm curious that if I could attempt to do this next time I fly to Colorado or whatever, 3.5 hours, could I just sit there and not take in any entertainment whatsoever?
I think you could.
I think my eyes would gravitate towards other people's screens next to me, and I just watch.
Is that allowed?
Not in Raw Dog rules. Raw Dog rules, you can't go to the bathroom, you can't have any pleasures at all. You have to sit there, and
this is to make you tough.
I don't even know what it's for, but it's a thing on the internet. But also, do you think it's real, or do you think these people just put that as a joke?
Honestly,
or do you think they actually sat there the entire time and just stared at nothing?
I think it's real, but I don't think it's like the 17-hour flight guys. I don't believe that's not real, but I do think it is a trend. But I also think that everything on the internet now is for entertainment.
Yeah.
So is it a real trend? Yes, it's a real trend. Are people doing it for 17 hours? No. Could people do it for one doctor's visit or a 2-hour flight? Sure. They probably have, and they think it's cute and funny. But everything is about entertainment, right? Everything's about getting eyes on you and being seen.
But the post is them looking at the flight tracker, right? Which I've done for like 15 minutes before. Like I just zone out.
I do it when I'm scared. Like when I've been on flights that are a little bumpy. There's another thing that I do.
Oh, you see the flight tracker?
Yeah.
You're like, it'll show it.
I look
breaking apart.
Yeah, I look at the flight tracker because for some reason I want to make sure we're on the approved path. It's a dumb thing. I know it's dumb.
Are you Malaysian?
Yeah. I'm
like, why are we in the ocean?
Yeah, hold on a second.
We're flying to Atlanta.
Yeah, why are we going towards that mountain? Right?
Yeah. So you could, although you couldn't do anything.
No, I don't know why I do it, but it is a thing I do. Like if we start getting turbulence, you've probably seen me do it on many other flights.
You go to the flight tracker.
I go to the flight tracker and then I stare at it and pray to a God I don't believe in that I don't die. That's what I do.
And then somehow you're going to be able to discern if the flight tracker is off course or whatever. You're like, wait a minute, the line, you're off the line.
I'm one of the only brave people here. Like, not meaning you, but I mean, like, I'm one of the only people that will tell you that when I'm on that flight, when the thing's he's shaking all around, I'm looking at the flight tracker, I'm staring right at the dot as hard as I can, trying not to cry. It's true. It's true. That's how it feels.
So going back to the social media trend, like they only have to either take a video themselves doing that for 10 seconds and then post like just raw dog this flight, because that is the joke. So actually doing it, there's no value in doing it. The value's in the post and the joke.
Correct.
So because none of your followers will there's no way to prove that you did it. Except for filming yourself for 3 hours.
Yeah, and most of these things are like the chat room saying, it's like most of these people are so young, they're not capable of doing that anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you're not
my
capable.
pop-up grew up not having any entertainment.
Correct.
So he was like perfectly relaxed, and he could have done that for.
Yeah.
I mean, he could do the 17-hour Australia. I think he did when we flew to Alaska.
He never had it. Absolutely,
he just sat there and raw dogged it. But like he was in his comfort zone. I don't believe a 22-year-old could do it.
I don't think they can either.
They're addicted to cell phones.
I look at my daughter and she can't. She can't do it.
Tommy can get up into his head. Max just falls asleep because he needs the stimulation. Seriously, but like, so that's a talent that you're right. I don't believe these young people could even. They got to be lying.
Which is why it's the trend. You know, like which is why they're trying to say they can do it.
Yeah,
it's like absolutely. You're not capable of doing that. Like
in the 20s, this wouldn't be a feat of any. Like we're amazed by it in 2024 and 1924. People are like, Yeah, everybody can do that. Every human can do this.
Yeah.
Because that's a had to.
It is a skill, and I know we harp on it a lot on the show, but it is one of those things where it's like, man, if you can be okay with having no stimulation, that is a...
You got to train for it.
You do. You kind of do, yeah. Especially now because we've just been so overstimulated. Let's do a couple of voicemails. This is my voicemail of the week. This is legitimately the funniest voicemail I've heard in a minute.
How come there's no place for dudes to rock out, it seems? I have nowhere to rock out. I would like to rock out sometimes. I want somebody with a slap in the bass like Fieldy from Korn. I want somebody in the backwards red hat. I need a DJ around to give me some wickies. And I want to play some crunchy chords with some dudes. And I've got nowhere to go. Where do dudes go to rock out?
It's an excellent question. It's an excellent question. I know that he's being funny.
What the hell is he talking about?
He wants to play. I kind of feel this way, too. Where do dudes go if you want to rock out? Like, if you want to start a dad band, like if me and Tony Rage and you wanted to start the Hot Tub and Mini Fridge band.
Okay.
Like, where would we do it?
It wasn't someone's garage, right?
Well, it used to be that. No, but how do you find that online? Do you find it on Craigslist? Do you find it on Facebook? You can't go to Sam Ash and put up a little piece of paper and say, like, bass guitar player needed. Where do you do it?
I think there's probably Facebook groups dedicated locally to people looking for musicians. You know, I'm guessing the internet has a ton of this stuff where if you're, like, looking for band members, there's probably an app, right, that locally you can, you're like, hey, I'm looking to be a part of a band, and then people connect that way. There's got to be something like that.
Like the Weekly? Orlando Weekly?
No,
like
a magazine. Digital.
No, I know, but
like online?
Like online, yeah. OrlandoWeekly.com.
I bet you there's some...
Bungalower, maybe?
There's some app that is for musicians finding other like-minded musicians locally. Just like a dating service or something, but for musicians. And then it's like you find other musicians to play with. There's got to be that. I bet, and there's got to be social media groups locally.
Damn, chat room coming strong with the Only Jams. That'd be a good site. Only Jams. And it's just dudes that want to jam. And they're nude.
If there's a lot of guys, like I even know, like older guys.
Tony Rage wants to start a band with me right now.
Yeah. But
he wants to play surf rock.
Yes, yeah.
He wants to do a throwback, like a nostalgia surf rock band.
You should do it.
Where I'm playing like a little cocktail kit.
Yeah.
It would be fun. It's just, again, like with time and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not even that I do have the time.
Yeah.
I just don't have the willingness
to do it. That's called motivation. Yeah. It's not worth the time.
No, it's not. Let's try it.
Although you would enjoy it, and then
I do play music,
and you're perfectly set up where it'll actually pay off, because if you and Tony learned how to started a band and played surf rock,
it'd be
eventually
easy.
You could play a show and pack
you'll
a
cheap
small.
Out. You're not gonna pay us.
No.
You make us do it for free. I'll be out there.
Well, it's not about the money.
Yeah,
it's about the audience. Like, you could get our listeners to come watch you at, like, you could play a show at the Music Box.
We always do jokes about how we want to make it alt-right surf rock. Like, we had a day we were gonna be called like the Let's Go Brandonites or something like. Yeah, right?
I'll play bass.
You want to play bass in it?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, if you did it, I'll play. But back to the time.
Yeah.
Can I practice virtually?
You have. No.
Do we have to meet up somewhere?
We have to meet up at a storage unit.
Yeah.
We're gonna meet up at a storage unit. First one there has to open it, turn on the fans.
Well, we just practice it here, right?
We're gonna junk this place up and have like all of our gear everywhere.
Yeah, we're just doing it in the lobby. We'll just leave.
So when guests come over, we're like, we have a band.
I'm done with impressing guests. They don't care, and they'll understand. Like, we have a band, we practice here. I'm
done with guests.
They just want the promotion.
I don't want to have anybody else come on the show anymore.
No, they'll step over our amps to go do the show. Like, they just want the promotion.
We know you need the promotion, so you'll step over our cords.
Yeah, they're never gonna the fact that we offer the best snacks in Orlando and drinks and stuff. They don't really care that much. Like, they'll take tap water. They just want the stinking promotion.
We didn't even talk about. We should talk about this quickly before we have to get out of here. We didn't even do anything with our snacks, and now they've fallen into disarray. I bought $300 worth of quality snacks.
I know. All that idea was short-sighted.
I stacked all my snacks up, and I stacked it up, and and then the only person that eats our snacks, and I'm not blowing up his spot or anything, but I like that he eats them, is Brendan.
Yeah, well, this is a direct result to Sam leaving. This is a great example of an idea that Sam would have said stupid.
Yeah,
and
you don't need snacks. That's dumb.
Yeah, it's a waste of money.
I spent hours on this. I bought the chip hang.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
I had to put the chip hangers together. The Chinese chip hangers that you find at like any mom and pop store.
Yeah. And then me and you, we didn't have a third person to tell us like, hey, this is probably a waste of time and money.
You're like, why are you doing this?
We did it. We're like, it'd be good for social media.
It looked good for one day, and I forgot to take a picture of it.
We didn't put it on social media. We didn't make a big deal out of it, so it became a nothing. And then everybody ate all the wrap snacks, and that was the funniest snacks we had.
The only snack that anybody ate were the wrap snacks.
Yeah, we have a whole box of Welch's fruit snacks. No one cares.
I have Welch's fruit snacks. I have Kind bars.
Yeah, only babies like that.
Funyuns.
Yeah.
Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
Chocolate bars.
Yeah. And
Kit Kats, Reese's.
They just want the wrap snacks.
Yeah, all they took is the wrap snacks. That's all they want.
Anyway, yeah. That listen, you have some good ideas, you have some bad ideas. Yeah. It happens.
Let's try this one right here.
Hey, Tom and Dan. It's Keyed Up BDM or Brian the Locksmith. I was just curious on how you guys save money. Just trying to save a couple bucks here and there, and just don't believe my, cell phone package is doing me right, It's like, I think I pay like $70 per month for, everything unlimited and everything like that. Do I really need this? Thinking about downgrading to like one of those $20 per month kind of things.
Sounds like what your wife wants to do. The flip phone, $20 a month.
On that. And can't wait if you guys will have another outing. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I'm really excited for the cruise. I know it's like, 2-3 months away, but
yes, sir. It'll
be a good time. But have a great one.
You as well. 2 months away, man, and we will see you on the cruise. Saving money is not something that I think I'm...
Yeah. Neither. I mean, did you hear the snack story? Did you, sir?
Yeah.
I know you left this voicemail a while ago, but we just told you a story how me and Daniel are not the best at managing money.
Yeah, Andrea is good at that. I mean, she no delivery for her. She'll pick up any food we go to get, even if it's like Gators here, where they can just zip it right over. No, she'll go down and get it.
So this is my mentality on money, and I'm not stealing this from anybody, but I heard Adam Carolla say it one time, and it made sense.
So you're stealing it from him?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
No, but
you're not stealing this from anyone, but you heard it from someone.
But instead of focusing on how to save money or cut expenses, put that brain power towards how to make more money. Right. So
our accountant Bernie says.
And so and the way I look at it is like, okay, you could be, and there's some things like you could be egregious about wasting money, cut all that stuff. You know how to cut that out. Like if you're buying a ridiculous amount of whatever and you don't need it,
plant food,
like cut that. I could justify that it brings me happiness.
It was just an example.
But anyway, you could justify anything, by the way.
I can. I'm really good at it.
So, there's obvious egregious expenses that you could cut or stuff that you don't need. But once that's done and you start getting into whether you need the unlimited cell phone plan, or you start cutting back like your HBO subscription of $12.99 a month or something, you start nitpicking like $10 or $12 a month and stuff like that. Kind of brain power, I feel like, just put that figuring out how to make more money, instead of having to save $12 a month on your HBO subscription, or you're cutting your cell phone back to save you $30 a month or whatever.
Maybe something,
I don't know.
Let's say
anything at work, some side hustle.
A side hustle. I know a lot of guys that have sort of Like, for instance, I know a guy that he works his day job and does quite well, but his beer money and most of his fun money come from he hand makes cornhole boards. And sells them to his friends. And he enjoys doing it. So it's like hobby plus money. You know.
Or look into, all right, what's a huge expense that I have to pay for, whether it be house maintenance, mechanic work, things, like changing the oil on my car, even though that's not, but things like that, you're like, maybe I can learn how to do it. And it gives me joy, or it brings me some sort of satisfaction to change my own oil, or to do my own plumbing work or irrigation work, something like that. Something and that'll save you money, learning little things like that around the house.
Or you'll screw it up so bad.
Mainly.
I might know this guy.
How's
your mini split coming along? I'm sorry, am I not allowed to talk about that? I'm just like, I remember this was like a month ago. You were like, I got to get the parts and do it. I was like, you know how to fix the air conditioning? You're like, nope. But the YouTube, everything's on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, God.
Well, it is on YouTube. But it starts getting where you don't have the great equipment.
Yeah, I know.
And then
you don't know what the hell you're doing.
And then you break it worse than you end up, But there's certain things like that. But I like focusing on making money.
You do like the challenge, though, don't you? Like, okay, like when something breaks in your house, I believe there's a bubble that goes off in your brain that it's a premonition of you in the future getting the part, going to the thing and fixing it, and then being like, I did it, right? Like, and it's a dream, because we both do it. I do it too. I did it with my scooter. I was like, I can wire this thing up perfectly. There's no way I can't wire that thing.
No, you could have done it.
Dude, it was I went back and forth talking to these guys that do these scooters. I don't know how to fish cables through it took me forever just to get the lines through that thing, dude.
Yeah, but you could eventually, like, that's when I pay for a service and I see the person doing something.
You regret it?
No, I always look at that and I'm like, I could do that, what he's doing.
Right.
It doesn't look that hard at all.
Has there ever been one where you're like, I can't do that?
Some, like when I had an electrician rewire all my paneling.
Oh, yeah.
And saw that. It was looked so complicated. I was like, that,
Yeah.
Plus, there's like a lot of danger.
yeah, that's a good word.
So it's like, you run the risk of like it looks stressful. It looks super complicated. Like there's, lots of things that but if you irrigation, like gluing two PVC pipes together, I saw someone do it. I was like, I could do that.
Now there was a lot of satisfaction I got out of the stuff that I could do, like when I mounted the new tires on that bike. Yeah, that I've never done that before, and it was cool, and it was really hard, but I did it. So yes, I see that there. Yeah.
But if you get no satisfaction out of it, then just throw money at it, because then it becomes counterintuitive.
Chat room chiming in. Fashino says, I'm thinking of starting a handyman side business. I fix and build most everything in my home. That's pretty rad. I always thought I wanted to learn more about general home repair.
Yeah. See, that's the problem with the handyman business, because that you'll get all your time wasted by people that want to have you come change one outlet. And then you're like, okay, well, if I have to drive to your house, like you schedule it, and like that's like, let's say 4 hours from the drive till the transaction's done, even though you could change an outlet pretty quick. But, a lot of time you go there, and then maybe some things takes you longer than you thought or whatever. And then you're like, well, I have to charge you $300 or $250 for my time, but the person's like, $250 just to change an outlet. And then you're like, I understand that it seems like too much, but it's like this whole I had to drive here, I had to talk to you.
Also, it's very easy for me to do this, and you're paying for the fact that I've done this 1,000 times.
You're paying for the experience. I had to move the bookcase, like I know, and so that's what people want to start undercutting.
You made him move the bookcase?
Well, I'm just saying,
oh my God,
like all these little things, and the person and then the customer, the handyman's customer, is going to be like, usually a pain in the ass in some way. And then you're like, God damn, like this is a lot of work for, small amounts of money.
I feel like it's just the name of the job.
Handyman?
Like, just because it's handyman, people are like, yep, I can be rude to the handyman because he's a handyman.
Yeah, and then I want him to do stuff for $50, and it's like, well, this person spent hours. You know, it's like, that doesn't exist. Anyway. All right, we'll be right back.
Awesome. I also got super hot.
Yeah. Well, we recorded too long, and we didn't move the for the AC to trigger.
Where's that go to?
That's Tuesday 3.
Do we have anything for Tuesday?
No.
Okay, great. Awesome.
So we'll just come back and do the BDM show.
All right, guys. We'll see you over on Facebook.